Money is everywhere, yet understanding it is rare. Not because we lack information, but because we underestimate the one thing that shapes our financial lives more than anything else: human behavior. We're diving deep into 5 of the most powerful lessons from this modern classic, using the original chapters from the book itself. Let's get started. Chapter 1. No one's crazy. Let's kick things off with a heavy truth. Everyone thinks they're being rational with money. But in reality, we're all just products of our environment. Morgan Housel opens the book by saying, "People do some crazy things with money, but no one is crazy." Why? Because every single person sees money through the lens of their personal life experiences. Think about it. If you grew up during a recession, you probably value security over growth. If you witnessed your parents lose everything in the 2008 crash, you're likely skeptical of stock markets. But if you've only seen markets go up, you might think investing is easy and even take dumb risks. We judge others for their financial decisions, but what we don't see is the story behind their behavior. Your personal experiences with money make up maybe 0.0000001% of what's happened in the world, but maybe 80% of how you think the world works. That's massive. So, what's the takeaway here? Stop assuming everyone should think like you. Personal finance is personal. Instead of copying someone else's strategy or criticizing their decisions, take a moment to ask, what shaped my view of money? Once you know that, you can start designing a financial life that actually fits you, and only you. Chapter 2. Luck and Risk. We love success stories. We admire billionaires. We idolize entrepreneurs. But we rarely talk about the invisible forces behind the scenes. Luck and risk. Morgan puts it bluntly. Nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. Let's talk about Bill Gates. Yes, he was a genius. Yes, he was hardworking. But he also just happened to attend one of the only high schools in the world with a computer in the 1970s. That's not strategy. That's luck. At the same time, let's talk about risk, the flip side. You can be smart, disciplined, and careful, and still fail. Wrong timing, bad luck. Black swan event. This chapter is about humility. We're all taught that if you work hard, you'll succeed. But in reality, success often involves factors outside your control. Likewise, failure doesn't always mean someone made a mistake. Be careful who you praise and who you look down upon. And be careful when assuming that 100% of outcomes can be attributed to effort and decisions. What does this mean for your financial life? Don't blindly copy successful people. Don't beat yourself up for setbacks. Make room for risk in your planning. Diversify, build buffers, expect surprises. The best financial strategy is one that respects luck and prepares for risk. Chapter 3. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Here's one of the deepest truths in the entire book. Getting rich and staying rich are 2 completely different games. To get wealthy, you need risk-taking, courage, vision, and optimism. To stay wealthy, you need humility, frugality, paranoia, and patience. Morgan says, getting money requires taking risks, being optimistic, and putting yourself out there. But keeping money requires the opposite, conservatism, and the fear that it could all be taken away. Let's talk examples. Entrepreneurs often take wild risks to grow. But the same attitude can destroy them if they don't shift to preservation once they're successful. Investors who made millions during bull runs often lose it all in bear markets because they never learn how to protect. This is the mindset shift most people miss. We admire risk takers, but in the long run, the quiet, cautious, boring people, the ones who drive old cars and live below their means, are often the ones who stay rich. Getting rich is a sprint. Staying rich is a marathon. So ask yourself, are you building a house of cards? Or are you building a fortress? You don't need to be flashy. You need to be resilient. Chapter 4. Save money. This chapter is so underrated it hurts. Most of us think saving money is something you do with a goal, a new car, a vacation, a house. But Morgan flips that idea on its head. He says, you don't need a specific reason to save. Saving for saving's sake is a valid goal. It gives you options. It gives you flexibility. It gives you control over your time. Let that sink in. We live in a culture that worships spending. If you're not spending, you're missing out. But saving is the real flex. Why? Because savings equals freedom. You can leave a toxic job. You can take a risk on a startup. You can breathe easy during a crisis. You can buy time, which is the most valuable currency of all. Here's what Morgan says that hit me. The value of wealth is relative to what you need, and saving is the gap between your ego and your income. Don't save just to buy something later. Save because you never know what life will throw at you. And when that day comes, you'll be glad you gave yourself the power of choice. Chapter 5. Never enough. Let's talk about the trap that ruins more wealthy people than any recession or bear market ever has. The never-ending pursuit of more. We live in a world of comparison. Someone always has a bigger car, a cooler watch, a better portfolio, more followers. And the moment you catch up to them, there's someone else above them. Morgan says, enough is not too little. It is realizing that if you have more, you will just want more. We've all seen it. Millionaires who want to be billionaires. People who risk their fortunes just to level up a little more. Investors who already won the game, but can't stop playing. The result? They lose it all. Let's get practical here. How do you define enough? It starts with values. Ask yourself, what does money mean to me? What kind of life do I actually want? What am I trying to prove, and to whom? The goal is not endless growth. The goal is freedom, peace, and a life that aligns with your priorities, not Instagram's. As Housel says, if respect and admiration are what you're after, be careful how you seek them. Humility, kindness, and empathy will bring you more respect than power or wealth. So don't just chase. Define your finish line. Otherwise, you'll run forever and never feel like you've won. All right, those were 5 of the most powerful lessons from The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Let's quickly recap. No one's crazy. Everyone sees money differently. Respect your story. Luck and risk. Outcomes aren't always about effort. Stay humble. Getting versus staying rich. Build wealth with courage. Keep it with caution. Save money. Not just for things. For freedom. For peace. Never enough. Define your limits, or you'll never be satisfied. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Master your behavior, and your money will follow.